Foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and the elder bishops on down as well, and Yahweh Bashem Yahshai Brakatham, to the overall elect too. And it's your brother Laban, and I just want to get started by reading this as it reads: Chinese nationals caught smuggling agro-terrorism fungus into America's breadbasket, and a plot that reads like a Tom Clancy novel crossed with a dystopian agribusiness nightmare. Two Chinese nationals, Young Qing Jian, 33, and Ziyang Lu, these Moabite names, man, have been slapped with federal charges for allegedly smuggling a biological ticking time bomb into the U.S. So, yeah, agro-terrorism, which is also bioterrorism as well, as it means, is a form of bioterrorism that specifically targets the agricultural sector. It involves the deliberate introduction or spread of animal or plant disease, pests, or toxins to cause economic damage, generate fear, and undermine social stability. This can disrupt the food supply, impact national security, and cause significant economic losses, according to the World Organization for Animal Health. So here China goes trying to, what word can I use? Undermine America's economy, which, and I'm going to say this too, the food in America has always been poison, but, this over here is really um, cutting it close, as the saying goes, for something which is what we always talk about, as I spoke about in my last video: war among these other nations. You know, that's what this is doing. I'm pretty sure that the Chinese elitists had something to do with this as well. That's just my assumption. That's just my opinion, as I'm going to say as well. But that's just what I believe, because ain't no average Chinese individual is going to do something like this. All right? Unless it's sanctioned to happen by key people that know people in secret places, or should I say in higher places as well. All right? So, yeah, the only thing that I can really say is that this is really pushing it for the sake of war being had among America and Russia, and as well as China, which is what America's at war against as well. And this very well expresses how near and dear we are to that scenario of taking place, which is very well going to bring great damages on the world, and great death and destruction. Okay? And speaking about all of that, let's just pull a scripture in dealing with that. Second Ezra, chapter 16. Woe be unto Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloth of sacks and hair. Bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. And when it reads, gird up your swords with cloth of sack and hair, it means to be in a mournful state, because that was the custom of our ancestors that we would do to show forth our mourning. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it have begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? So there you go. So wrath is being prepared on this earth, like you ain't never experienced this scene in your life to include. All right? And with all of this, as this is written, I'm going to skip down a couple of verses here. Verse 11, and the Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. And just to include, in the midst of this third world war, as Esau will call it, as well as we call it, the third world, which is coming quickly. Guess what? Yahweh Shah is going to be appearing in that, and in all of them nations, they're gonna turn aside of their difference. They're gonna put their differences aside, just like this guy said, the former president of America. What was his name, man? He was the president of the 1980s, the early to mid 1980s. Ronald Reagan. He said that there's gonna be one day possibly. I'm just saying it in my words and what he said. He said that if there be an angelic force, would we have put aside our differences? And that's what they're gonna do. All of these nations, which have the firepower to fight up against the Lord, guess what? They're going to be beaten to absolute powder. As it is written in 2nd Ezra 13, it tells you about that, how there was nothing but to be perceived of, smoke, if I'm correct, pillars of smoke and powder and blood. All right? That was the aftermath of them trying to fight the Lord, which they ain't going to want to fight the Lord, but the Lord is going to put them in the spirit to do so, to make this war interesting for him. Verse 12, the earth quake and the foundations thereof, and the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. And that's what's going to happen when these nukes hit ground zero. It's going to cause an impact of the earth, so much so that the earth is going to shake. So even on this, the Lord is going to send a mighty statement on the earth, and he's going to make America into a grand example, as well as what Sodom and Gomorrah was. All right? Since they want to do the Sodom and Gomorrah, well, the Lord is going to treat them with the Sodom and Gomorrah treatment. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, and his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the end of the world, or the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. So that the missiles are going to be to that of a plague, which is going to decimate the entire country itself to a pitch. And that's mentioned in the book of Isaiah 13, as I'm going to pull out sooner than later, and also Isaiah 34. All right? Now, here's the point. The point is in, verse 17 and verse 18, and verse 19 as well. Oh, as a matter of fact, I can read verse 22. So, first verses I'm gonna read into from 16 to verse 20. So, as this reads, 17, 3 verses. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall be, going a bit too quick here. And the power shall stand in fear, in the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? So the focus is that great death is going to be had in this third world's war, as the world calls it. We call it the third war, which is bound to come quickly. All right? So great death is coming. And that's what all of this is gonna lead up to. All of this biological warfare, which is going to be had between these various countries that are at war against each other. Like I said, it's just going to cause war. It's going to cause this third woe to heighten to the point of no return. All right? And by those missiles, the nations are going to go tit for tat, tat for tick, until America's wiped off the face of the map. That's where all of this is heading up to. All right? Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people, and let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, and he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountain shall be melted with their blood. And all of the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's that nuclear mushroom cloud they showed you back in the day. All right? And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, which is referring to here on earth. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. And you got these jackasses that used to be down with the Sakari camp. They talking about how, the actual Petra is going to be destroyed. When ain't nobody dwelling in Petra. All right, ain't nobody down there for it to be a great slaughter, for it to be a great sacrifice, as this is written. The Basra that it's talking about, and the Idumea that it's talking about, it's referring to America, because that's where the bulk of Idumea and primarily the leaders of the Idumeans rule. All right. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness and the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams. For the Lord have a sacrifice in Basra, and the great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So when Ezra said that there's going to be famines and great death, we got to focus on where that term belongs. That term belongs to America, because America is going to be that land where there's going to be a great sacrifice in, which is also known as Basra. And as it is written, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, which Idumea is just a Greek way of saying Edom. Okay, and the unicorn shall come down with them in the bullocks, with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and it thus made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy in Zion. And what the bulls and bullocks represent, and the lambs and goats, it represents the people, because these were animals that you would sacrifice for sin offering, or as well as for peace offering. All right? So the people are going to be the sacrifice. That's what this is referring to. It's written in code. So you have to be able to see what it's talking about. So the prophets, when they had the visions, they told it in a way that they could very well possibly understand it from their time. But when we break it down from now, we can clearly see what they really meant, or what the vision really meant, that it meant that basically something else greater than what they saw it to be. All right? So that's what's getting ready to go down. And the reason why all of this is going to happen, of course, because of what these nations are doing geopolitically. But ultimately, it's really to do with the fact that the Most High is going to take out the trash. All right? That's the ultimate reason, because you got evil, wicked people all around the planet Earth. And that's going to have to be sorted out, as we say down here in the UK. All right? That's going to be sorted. So now what I want to do is I want to read Isaiah 13. And verse 11 now. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, because in this world you have people that are into all various forms of witchcraft. You have people that are delving into changing who they are gender-wise, and you have people that are, dung-chasing sodomites and blood-drinking carpet munchers, if you will. I don't mean to be graphic in that way, but I have to say it that way, because this is what people are doing. And this is going to be the cause for the Lord to act and bring in that great judgment, which is well deserved. So let me read this as well. Verse 6 now. 2nd Ezra 15, and I will read verse 5. Behold, save the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. And one of the plagues is that nuclear destruction from those ICBM missiles, those intercontinental ballistic missiles, which is going to be just as the brimstones which were sent from the Lord to Sodom and Gomorrah to destroy that whole area. All right, that whole place. The sword, famine, death, and destruction. And you know what they said too? I was reading an article. I mean, I believe it was on the Sky News, and they said that if there were a third world war, if we were in World War III, a lot of the food would perish, and therefore they've estimated it to, if I can memorize what the article said, the numbers, about 2 point something odd to maybe about I think it's 2 to 5 billion people would have died if you were in World War III. Okay, so verse 5 again, behold, say the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, sword, famine, death, and destruction. And it mentions in 2nd Ezra 16, great death, the beginnings of famines and great death. So these things are coming on the earth to what? Judge the people for the wrongs that they commit on a day-to-day basis. And let's even include false prophets as well. You got false prophets among these Christian churches and false prophets even among our own people that claim to believe that they're Israelites. All right? So the Lord is going to begin with his house and destroying them, and so that the rest will be destroyed later on through these plagues. Verse 7, therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves, just like they did in ancient Rome. Romans 1 and 26 and 27? Let's read that. They changed the natural use, right? Let's pull that out real quick. Romans 1 and 26. I think it's either 26 or 23, but let's go with my first option. Romans 1 and 26. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to find a good place to start. Yeah, so anyway, and change the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to a corruptible man. No, that's going into something else. Let me just get to the point. Yeah, I think it's referring to these gods that they were worshiping, which the Romans were into that. Right, so verse 5. Verse 24. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of the Most High to a lie and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause the Most High gave them up to vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And what was meat? What was the consequence? The recompense of their error was the diseases that they had gotten. And even currently right now, even your doctor would tell you that that's a risky lifestyle to live, because you can really catch viruses and such as hepatitis. You can catch a disease, you can catch a disease such as hepatitis. I believe you can catch all three of them by doing that which is unseemly, as the scripture says. You know? So again, this is one of the reasons why the Lord is going to lay down the judgment. NFL goes on its annual alphabet community to embrace, but some teams continue to opt out. Look at this debauchery, man. I mean, come on. This is what America's gone down to. And I mean, America's always been like this, but now it's just more apparent. And they're really showing where its heart's at. You know, again, this is no different than the ancient Roman Empire. This is the kind of debauchery and foolishness and despicable behavior that the Romans were doing. You know, especially when you do the research on what happened to Pompeii. Okay, which Pompeii was just a place where you had weirdos getting together, you know, doing orgies and all kinds of forms of, you know, sex was being had there. It was equivalent to as well as what we watch today. People in the world. I mean, I don't watch it no more. I mean, I used to when I was in the world, and I used to almost be addicted to it. It's no different than porno today, you know, which is owned and controlled by these Amalekites, and they do this to really corrupt your mind, to turn you inside out, and to just bug you the fuck out. You know, and that's basically what Western culture does to people. It just bugs people out. It turns people into strange creatures. And they have the nerve to call it pride. And check this out. Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride go before destruction, and then haughty spirit before a fall. Absolutely. And the kind of destruction that America's going to get, like I said earlier in this video, America's going to get the kind of destruction which is quite similar to Sodom and Gomorrah. But it's going to be worse. Because the Lord, again, just like he made an example of Sodom and Gomorrah, he's going to make an example of the new one, which is also known as spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Okay? So if they want to tempt the Lord doing this stuff, man, they're going to find out the hard way. Like the saying goes nowadays. Fuck around and find out. Isaiah 13 and 19. And Babylon, back to Isaiah 13 again. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Jeremiah 49 and verse 18. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, and neither shall the Son of Man dwell in it. Jeremiah 50 and verse 40. And as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, and neither shall any son of man dwell in it. Just like nowadays, you don't have people dwelling in Sodom and Gomorrah right now. So this is said, what, 3 times? So if there be 3 witnesses, then the case is true, as the scripture says. Okay, so it's inevitable that America, which is also known as that golden cup, which has all of the abominations, or the whore which sitteth upon many waters, which has that golden cup in her hand, which is full of abominations, will receive the recompense of those abominations that she has committed, and therefore a great sacrifice will be had in that land. So now let's continue to read on where we left off at in Isaiah 34, because this is what it's all going to lead down to, man. So as this reads, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bulls, and the bullocks, and with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made with the fatness. Their dust made fat with fatness, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. And we have to also include this too. How many so-called Native American Indians were slaughtered? All right? And so that they could take every state. How many so-called Negroes were lynched? You know, how many Israelites in the land of America, just in general, was dealt wrongfully? It's a whole lot of those, man. And so therefore the land is defiled now. And as it is written that the land cannot be cleansed but by the blood of him that is shed therein. All right, so the way that that's going to go down is going to go down from a nuclear annihilation situation. That's how the land is going to be cleansed. And we're reading about it. Verse 9, and the streams thereof shall be turned into a pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become a burning pitch, and it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. Just like what happened on 9/11. That smoke was rising up for a good old while. All right. But the destruction that's going to be had on America is going to be so impactfully effective and so fiery that there's going to be a lot of smoke going up for a long time. All right. And again, that's going to be the Most High setting that example. From generation to generation, it shall lie waste, and none shall pass through it forever and ever. And so, as it reads, it lists all of the desert creatures which will inhabit that land. Okay, so there ain't nothing going to be there. Ain't nothing going to be there. You know? So this is where we're leading up to, man. This is exactly where we're leading up to. And all of this is just to show that this will be the case. All signs and things point to America being fully, wholly destroyed, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, because of the iniquities of the people. And the time is going to come that the Lord is not going to withhold himself, but he's going to act. All right? He's going to act on the people's wickedness, man. There's going to come a time. Let me say, I want to try to say it correctly. As this reads, right? I might as well read it. Let me read it. Where was I, man? I think it's in... Yes, verse 8, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Yeah, so the Lord ain't gonna hold his tongue. He's gonna declare. He's gonna speak. His words are gonna speak. In other words, his prophecies, where it concerns destruction, is gonna be had, and it's gonna fall into fruition. All right. So yeah, and I mean, like, I can even include to say this too. Because even when we speak, the Lord speaks through us. So let me read this again. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. So you have the souls which died due to injustices that are crying out to the Lord. Just like how you had the cry of Abel, which went before the Lord because of Cain. So, do you really, really believe and think, Esau, that you're going to be able to escape from judgment? Everybody's crying out against you, man. You got Jake's crying out against you physically and even spiritually, and even other nations too. Okay? So everyone's, giving their say on how wicked you are. So now the time is going to come where your judgment is going to very well inevitably proceed to you. All right? That's what's coming. That's all I have to say with this. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakah Hakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught me this truth, and the elder bishops as well. And even unto the elect, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Brakatha, the 144,000, and as well as the rest, which is the 1/3 whom follows. All right? Shalom.